Are you getting stronger but not gaining muscle? What the heck's going on? Watch this.
Our next caller is Scott from Wisconsin.
Scott, what's happening, man? How can we help you?
Hey guys, how are you doing today?
Good.
Good. So, first off, just I know you guys get a lot of macro questions, and I'm sure you're sick of them. So, I just want to say I appreciate
my favorite.
how genuine you guys are, and you can answer these questions for people. I know I'm not special. So, with that little story, so back in October of 2021, had a pretty life-changing injury at work. At that time, married, 4 kids. I weighed about 225, and I just kind of was like lethargic, no energy, something needed to change. So started off the year 2022 with 75 Hard, which I just finished listening to an episode on your guys' response on that. That could probably be a whole nother podcast. But so yeah, with 75 Hard, like I said, I started at 225. That was more to get my mind on track, but I dropped down to 185 by the end of that. I lost 12.5% body fat, and right now I'm not sure what my body fat is now, but at that time I was in a deficit throughout the whole thing, consuming about 1,800 calories. And now I'm maintaining at 2,300 calories roughly, but I'm not really seeing. So I just bought anabolic, and I'm seeing strength gains, but I'm not really seeing any physical gains. And I'm wondering, like, I count my macros like crazy. So should I stop counting macros and get more on the intuitive eating program and try that, or
Not necessarily. I think be patient. How far into anabolic are you right now?
like 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Listen,
be patient, man.
You know the saying, where there's smoke, there's fire? Where there's strength gains, the muscle gains follow. So it's pretty reliable. So if you get stronger consistently, you're going to see muscle gains. If you want to speed that up, I would bump your calories. I would just increase the calories by 200-300 calories, going like a small kind of mild bulk, and that should fuel more of the strength and muscle gains that you're looking for. But if you're getting stronger, you're moving in the right direction. And it's usually this is the way it looks, right? Somebody works out, they have a good, calorie intake, food looks good, they're working out, they get stronger, boom, muscle. And then again, stronger, boom. It's almost not like strength and muscle they follow the same time, or they happen at the same. It's almost like you get stronger for a little while, and then boom, the muscle pops on your body. It's almost like it works out that way. And I've experienced that myself. I've experienced that with all my clients. Somebody will gain 15 pounds on a lift. You don't see any muscle gain. Then they'll gain another 10 pounds on a lift, and then boom, they just gain a bunch of muscle in a very short period of time. So, but you can bump the calories, go up 200-300 calories, and continue doing what you're doing. You're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. What are you doing any cardio, Scott?
No, just on trigger sessions, I walk, usually a mile I walk.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay. You're good. You're
cool.
doing great.
Okay, cool. Yeah. No, I agree with Sal. Add a couple hundred calories. And it's not that I would be against you moving towards intuitive eating. I don't think intuitive eating is the answer to building more muscle. In fact, I think it'd be more difficult to have a goal like building more muscle while also intuitive eating. Although the ultimate goal is to get to a place where you intuitively eat. Right now, I would keep tracking. You're tracking already. I would add, like Sal said, 200-300 calories and stay the course. I mean, I think that give it some time with anabolic. If you're seeing the strength gains, I think you'll start to
reveal
see
itself.
Yeah,
I
I
just keep going.
100%. I think you're doing good.
And after MAPS Anabolic, I think MAPS Strong and Symmetry would be good follow-ups to what you're doing. Yeah, but you're on the right track, man. You're doing everything right. So, and what Adam said about tracking is on point. Intuitive eating, when you eventually get to that point, that's a great way to maintain good general health and fitness. But when you're trying to gain or lose, then usually it requires somebody pay attention to the calories and macros a little bit more.
Yeah, it's not going to make it easier. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Now, if you're stressed out about counting macros, if you called and you said, "Hey, I'm counting macros, it's causing me stress, I'm developing a bad relationship with food," then I would push you more in the direction of let's start moving you in a more intuitive way. In fact, let me send you our what's our nutrition guide called?
Intuitive eating guide.
Is it Intuitive Eating Guide?
Yeah, we have one of those.
Okay, I'm going to send that over to you. I wrote it. I can't believe I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to send that over to you because I think that'll help you eventually when you want to move in that direction.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Thank you.
You got it, man. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
You got it.
Take care.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Adam, because when you're doing everything right and you're on a good intuitive eating type, regime, you develop balance.
Yeah.
But then when you want to move outside of quote unquote balance, I want to push my body to gain a few pounds of muscle, or I want to add 10 pounds to my squat, or I want to drop 3% body fat. Well, that now you're moving out of what your balance is, and that does often require you to track a little bit and to kind of
You
pay
got to
attention.
be more specific at that point to achieve those specific goals.
It's always been my pushback a little bit when we talk about intuitive eating, because I intuitively eat right now. Yet, if we all got together and said, "Hey, let's try and put on as much muscle as we can, as fast as we can," and we had a goal like that, or I had a goal like that personally, I would the very first thing I would do would go track and see where I'm at currently right now, and then I would adjust my diet accordingly. Even though I've been lifting for all these years and tracking food for I don't necessarily need to for general health, but if I want to make change in my body, whether it's reducing body fat or building muscle, I want to recalibrate. I'm going to track for a period of time to get an idea of where I need to be in order to hit those goals. And then when I hit that goal, and then I go back to intuitive eating again. So I think it's a place that we all want to.
You want to be comfortable. You want to be balanced. You want to know how to feed your body in a way. And I want to be clear, because when we say intuitive, people are like, what does that mean? Like just instinctually, you just have this knowledge.
Just eat when you're hungry.
Well, no, it's like, look, if you don't know how to swim, you're not going to intuitively swim. You're not a fish. You have to learn the steps. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. And then eventually you can do it much more intuitively. But then if you want to learn a new stroke, or you want to get faster, you might have to pay attention to your technique again and perfect certain things before it can become more intuitive. I do it as well, Adam. I don't track everything, but if I'm pushing in one direction or another, I'll track a couple things. Like, okay, well, let me look what my protein is at, because that's most important for me. Or let me see where my carbohydrates are at, because right now I'm trying to, push my energy when I work out or whatever. So I will track it. But once I get that information, then you have information you can work intuitively off of. Yeah. It's not this like, we're not born with this knowledge. So I want people to understand that, because
your body can deceive you pretty easily.
Well, not just that. If you don't have the information, you don't have the training, you don't have the understanding, then you're just going to base your intuitive eating is based off of your limited knowledge and understanding, which is I know what tastes good. So let me just do that.
Hunger and cravings.
Yeah, and so now I'm intuitively eating based off that. Well, that's going to look like donuts and candy and.
I want to address the 75 hard point that he made too, because it's been a while since we talked about that, and I know we kind of railed on that when it first came out, and I like Andy Vercel and some of the stuff that he's said or put out there. The problem I think that we have with something like that is, for the general population, that doesn't result in what people think it does. And everybody's like, oh my God, I did it. It was amazing, because it's like crazy discipline for 75
The fail
days.
rate afterwards is just like any other diet. That's the problem.
Yeah. And
you lose the weight and you gain it back.
And it's such an extreme of.
That's one of the reasons why.
Yes. And so it tends to promote this on-off behavior that we're always trying to help people solve. And to solve the on-off behavior, doing something super hard and extreme is not the answer for most people. Does that mean there's not somebody who's listening who did it changed their life, and now they're like, cool?
Yeah, 5%.
Yeah.
It's the same percentage with any diet. You know what people expect out of doing that, Adam, is they expect an epiphany. Mm-hmm. They say, oh, well, I know the statistics. I know what you're saying, but I think I'm going to do it, and it's going to change my life so much that I'm going to be able to stick to it for the rest of my life. You are not going to solve your fitness and health issues with an epiphany. Those are so rare. Look, I've trained people who've had multiple heart attacks and the epiphany never hit them, right? So don't depend on that. This is a slow process of developing discipline, skill, really developing a good relationship with nutrition and yourself. And so signing up for stuff like this in the short term is great. Yeah, you're going to see some results if you stick to it. But then you're going to fail.
And the success rate, it goes up dramatically when you learn to incrementally
that's the way.
Add the stuff. So all the things that are like, that's like, people hear me talk about 75 hard and they're like, you not agree with the water thing and the walking thing and challenging yourself?
No, that's not the point.
No, that's not the point at all. I absolutely agree with all that stuff, but I also would never take a client who wasn't really doing anything and then throw that at them. Now, my goal would eventually to incorporate all those things over a period of time where I slowly build that into their
drip
lifestyle.
it to them.
That's right. So that becomes something that they maintain for the rest of their life. Not slamming. Anybody can slam something hard for an extended period of time and just muster through it. But again, it promotes that on-off behavior.